All right, guys, coming at you with Toughness tip of the day. Sitting here with my babies right after lunchtime. It's getting ready to be nap time, right, guys? Don't show them your food. That's not ladylike. All right, guys, so Toughness tip of the day is understand that greatness takes extraordinary work. Extraordinary work ethic, and it takes an extraordinary person to achieve greatness. That's the work ethic, that's the mindset, that's the character, that's the day in and day out of doing something a little bit every day to get better. But the biggest part of this is that greatness takes extraordinary work. And so parents ask me this, and they ask this with good intentions. But they'll ask me these stuff like, is doing lessons the same day as practice too much? And in my head, I want to say, yeah, staying extra and doing extra work is too much. It's only going to make your kid better. That's too much. Let's stop at doing the bare basic work that people do for practices, the kids do at practices. Because this is the analogy I always say is like the absolute worst players in the state of Indiana in all sports are doing everything that they're doing in practice. So in order to get better, say if you're practicing 3 hours a day, 6 days a week, 1 day off, the worst players on the team are doing that exact same practice time. So you have got to, especially those worst players of the team, if you want to get better, you've got to put work and hours outside of that practice time to get better. If you do not do that, you will stay at the same status quo, 1, or 2, you might get a little bit better, but you're minimizing your ability to increase the greatness and get a lot better and make bigger jumps in a shorter amount of time because you've got to work on that one-on-one time. You've got to work on that short time, private time, You got to get a chance to work on that private stuff that makes you the weak points that you need to address to get better. In your team practice sessions, it's all about the team. But when it comes to your development, you need to be about you. So sitting time, understanding that you've got to be able to do the extra work outside of practice, that's mandatory. And same people are like, well, they're lifting at school. Well, 80% of schools I've ever seen in high school, they're not doing a very good job with their lifting. And if they are doing a good job, which a lot of kids of mine do have schools that are doing a good job with their strength training, where they're actually teaching kids and trying to implement the orientation and building them up, there's not enough time in the day for them to get everything they need. So a lot of the special strength exercises, a lot of the stuff they're not able to do in practice, we implement. And with parents, and this is parents, players, coaches, whoever's listening to this, watching this, you will always get average results when you look at the world through average eyes. Until you start thinking greatness and thinking the best and thinking what can be my max ceiling. Let's set my goals super, super high and the highest I can make them, and I'm going to work toward achieve them. And I'm going to write these goals down, and I'm going to cross them out every time I achieve them, and that will build my confidence. And again, I'm kind of getting into a tangent here, but if you want greatness, if you want to be great at your sport or great at whatever your profession is in life, if you're only willing to do the work that everybody else is already doing, you're not going to be better. You're not going to be special. You've got to put in work that makes you stand out. You got to be the first one there, be in there early, and you got to be the last one to leave. And that is a cliche quote that is heard all the time, but it is a fact. It is an absolute fact. You combine natural talent with hard work ethic and things just go through the roof. There is a percentage of athletes that can make it just based on pure talent alone, but it's the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. And I'm going to tell you right now, those athletes, I could see them and I could point them out immediately. And when they're at younger age groups, they do not fail. They barely ever even struggle at sport. They dominate every sport that they do. They dominate the sports that they're really good at. They do not struggle. What I mean by do not struggle is when they're playing elite level competition. I'm not talking about playing Jimmy down the street with your 4-league recreational baseball league that has nobody and no talent at. I'm talking about beating the best of the best. So understand, when you're asking the question, is this too much? Scarlett, you just had preschool, right? We had speech class, right? What else are we doing? We're about to go work out with Daddy. Yeah, we're going to lift some medicine balls. 3 years old, lifting medicine balls, strength training. Then we're going to go to gymnastics tonight, right? What do we do today? We work, hustle, kill? Work?
Hustle, kill.
Yeah. If you train your kids that being busy and working hard is a part of life and it's normal, they're going to think that's normal. If you train them to, hey, we're going to push it. And obviously, there's certain circumstances, if you feel like you're pushing them too much, you're going to see them physically exhausted 24/7 and their schoolwork and their education, their work in education will go down. But you'll see it. But you've got to push the envelope to see what your kids can take. And I'm going to tell you right now, kids can adapt to anything. I remember going to a basketball practice one, and then a second basketball practice, another league, and then working on boxing right after that when I was younger. And I can remember doing basketball, boxing, baseball on the same days. I would do all this stuff on the same day. And all it did was make me one of the best athletes in my grade. It made me a Division I athlete at a high level. And it prepped me and prepared me for teaching and passing on, learning, and passing on the knowledge that I have today. So at the end of the day, I mean, you could take this as me being cocky or whatever it is, because I really don't care for that word. I would rather have more confidence than you that doesn't have confidence watching this, but I'm not doing that to talk down to anybody. I'm not doing that to make anybody feel bad. I want everybody to have the same mindset that I have, but better, even better than me. That's the whole reason why I live, learn, and pass on and train people, is I want them to be better than me. I want them to pass on the knowledge so they don't make the mistakes that I make. Confidence is everything, but confidence that you can do more than what your mind is limiting you, and the mindset is limiting you, you've got to push that next level. Laird's training, greatness takes extra work. Out.